Hey guys, so we are going to do a quick first time runner, first time marathoner kind of how to tidbit tricks thing. I'm going to try to give you all the knowledge that I learned while running my one and only marathon and just continually running. First things first, every person is different. Every human on the planet is different. The way that you run your race or run or just exercise is going to be completely different to another person. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Take everything everybody else says with a grain of salt. The thing you have to know is that you know your body, you know what you can and can't do, and you have to listen to that before you listen to anybody else. Okay, so that said, let's get started. Okay, first things first, you need to learn that stretching before and after your runs is so important. You will hurt yourself if you do not stretch. Okay, ice. You will need this maybe before your runs. You will definitely need this after your runs. Whatever your injuries are, or whatever injuries you think you might get or know that you have, just make sure that you have certain things. And in a worst case scenario, just, get plastic bags, Ziploc bags, find the nearest McDonald's or fast food place and just go in and fill up from their ice and put it where you need it to be. Okay. Rolly or a really nice massager is going to totally help you get through, your before, after, keep everything going. One thing I learned and did is after I ran my marathon, the next day I got up and I went to an exercise class. And then the next day I went up and went to an exercise class. And by the third day, I was okay. I think that if I had not moved the day after, that's just me and my body, but if I had not moved the day after, I probably wouldn't have moved for about a week. So, okay, so we have that. Let's start with just running. Your feet. Okay. Your feet are what are gonna get you where you need to be. And so what you need to know is a little tidbit for boys and girls. They say toenails are for wusses. I like my toenails. I want to keep them on there. So first off, you have to go get a pair of shoes. Your pair of shoes are going to be kind of expensive. And before you run a marathon, you should, at least a month before, make sure that you have shoes that will get you through. Like, they're not too old. Always get like half a size up because your feet are going to swell. Always get a half a size up. It will help to keep your toenails being caught and ripping off. Another thing to help with your toenails being caught and ripped off for girls is getting our nails painted. Some nice nail painting. Boys, you can do clear. Gives that little bit extra layer so that your toenails don't get caught when you're running. It's a really good trick. I know people that have, put gel on their toenails. Make sure that you do not cut your toenails right before the race. Make sure that you do not change shoes right before the race. Best thing to do is file them down a couple of days before. If you really, cut them at least 2 weeks before, 10 days before, because you don't want a hangnail. You don't want pain in your feet whatsoever. Okay, so the other thing as well about your feet, sweat-proof socks. You want moisture wicking sweat-proof socks to get you through, because you're gonna start having antifungal. You'll need to get antifungal stuff because you'll start breeding. I learned the hard way. You'll start breeding fungus on your feet. Not good. Okay, let's see, feet. What kind of shoes should you purchase? Well, it also depends on what kind of race you're running. Trail shoes, if you're running trails, good shoes. Everything costs money when you're trying to run a marathon. The amount of money that you spend when you start to get into running is crazy. Okay, so let's go to, for boys, girls, I can only speak mainly for girls, is you want to try and get a pair of shorts that have at least one pocket. These ones that I have right here have 2 pockets, which is great because I can stick my phone in and on one side, and I can stick food or my ID. I actually have a back pocket for this one, but the ones that I ordered, I thought they came with 2, but they only came with 1. But that's okay. If you're like me and you need your music, then 1 is good enough, as long as it holds your phone, which is filming me right now, so I can't show you. Great. Now, another good thing that I will tell you about cost is everything costs a lot of money. So I got these shorts, which were about $20 on Amazon. If you go to a place called wish.com, there are other apps, $3. Okay, so moisture wicking socks, $4. Some are free, just depending that they might be ugly and pink or whatever. Save your money on things that don't matter and spend your money on the important things. Okay, girls, sorry boys, we're getting into this, but I do have a tidbit. Girls, you need a really good bra. If you don't have a really good bra, this is where you have to spend your money. I learned the hard way that you have to get a really good bra. This is a Juno Moving Comfort. It's a 32E because I am quite bigger. Just talking about that, I was talking to a friend, and it's a guy, and he, explained that he didn't realize how much friction there was going to be with his t-shirts and running, and you start out in the cold sometimes, and yeah, he had moments of bleeding, and I said, well, why don't you get a sports bra? No one's going to see it underneath. You can get like a 40A cup, and if you're a bigger, chubbier guy, just look at it as in, it's not a bra, it's a pectoral support system. It's not a boob support system, it's a pectoral support system. So just go for that. Okay, so another tidbit I learned as well is when you start your race in the morning, you can go to Goodwill, or if you've got some old clothes, get some old clothes, and after the first 30 minutes when you've warmed up, you just rip them off and leave them on the street, and you are good to keep on going if you're freezing. Or you can get those earthquake silver metal heat blankets. That's also good to keep you warm in the mornings, depending. You're going to hit a lot of different weather depending on where you're running, who you're running with, what time of year it is, all of that things. Okay, you have to figure out if you are a hat person, or if you are a sweatband person, or if you are a sunglass person, or if you are, I don't want anything on my head or face. If you are a headphone person, if you are Bluetooth enabled kind of thing. I love my headphones. I love my hands-free headphones. That is my thing. I've discovered I'm a hat person. I tried the sunglasses. Didn't really work well for me. But yet again, every person is different. Okay, so feet, clothes. Okay, when you are running and when you are running your long runs, you are running on roads. Okay, so this is a little bit about safety. Cars do not care whether you are trying to run hills or not, I have discovered. Do not take this as gospel, but I like to run on the side of the road where there's no sidewalks and there is no area. It's either a cliff or a big rock face, and I have about this much space between the white line and the cliff or the rock sometimes when you are in Hollywood, like you can tell we are right now because there's fire trucks. I step into the road. I step into the road about 2 steps in because there's a lot of curves and to oncoming traffic. Because if it's behind, and if you're like me, you love your music, you are not going to hear that car coming to hit you. But you can see that car, and then they're able to see you quicker, and you can run back to the edge of the cliff or that brick wall. And it just gives, you know, put your hand out, get them to see that you're there, because people are on their phones. And if they say that you shouldn't be running because you're not in a vehicle, because you're not in a Mack truck or a smart car or a motorcycle or on a 10-speed, just explain to them that the vehicle that you're in is your body and you are entitled to that road just like they are, okay? Okay, let's see. Another tidbit. Little traffic lights, if you're going to be doing this in night times and mornings, you can get these cute little things. I think the battery is gone on this. No. This should flash. It should flash, but it's not flashing. I need to maybe... Yep, I need to buy some more of these. Get 8 of them. If you were up at 3 a.m. in the morning, like I have been sometimes, because summer, it's hot, and you want to get like 3 or 4 of these. I was out one morning, and I had these on, and I waited. There was a crosswalk. The lights came up for me to cross, and I looked to the left, and I looked to the right, and then someone went right through a red light and almost took my hand off, like hit my nails. Like, cars don't care. So you have to run defensively on the roads. You have to be smart and you have to be safe, okay? Your body, when you are running, okay, when you are running, you need to find a fixed point ahead of you. Do not have your head down because you won't be able to breathe correctly. Do not have your head too far up. You will not be able to keep that up for 26.2 miles. Just find a fixed point where you can get your air in, get your breathing in. Find that fixed point and run. Relax your shoulders. No matter what you do, just swing your arms, you know, and do what you need to do. Running, find your stride. Find what works for you. What works for you is a pace of continually running for an hour before you walk for 1 minute, great. If you are one of those people who can run an entire marathon without stopping in 2.5 hours, great. If you are a power walker that can barely move, great. Do what works for you. Find your body's natural, I kind of want to give up now. It might be 10 minutes. It might be 2.5 minutes. I ran most of my marathon running at 2.5 minutes and walking at 1.5 minutes. Most of my marathon, I did 2.5, 1.5. You have to just find your pace and what's going to work for you. And don't let anybody tell you that you should be doing this, doing that. You know your body, you know what works. If you can go for 30 minutes straight and walk for 30 seconds, and you can finish your marathon and it won't hurt you, you won't get an injury, you will feel good, great. If you know you need to run a minute and walk a minute and run a minute and walk a minute, do it, okay? It's all how you are going to run the race. Nobody else can tell you how to do anything different, okay? There's a lot of common injuries. The one thing that I've seen is people keep going when they're injured. Your body is for your life. Life is a marathon. One race is not going to, you know, if you are in pain, you should stop, okay? That said, if it's discomfort, push through it. You can do it. I know you can. One thing I saw when I was running my marathon is I kept seeing people sit down. Do not stop. Do not sit down. The second you stop and you sit down, unless you feel faint, you probably will not finish. So just deep breaths and keep on walking. Okay. Let's talk food. And I'm going to do a little thing about diet, a more extensive diet. Carbo loading. When should you carbo load? Well, the advice that was given to us was to carbo load 2 days before your race, okay? Because if you are carbo loading the day before your race, you're probably going to run with a brick in your stomach. You don't want that. You don't want to be running with a brick. You don't want any stomach problems, you know. So just, if nothing else, carbo load the morning before the race. And then after that, just keep everything light, you know, and keep everything moving and going, and you should be good. Also, don't let anybody tell you what to eat before your race. Okay, so this was my standard on my long runs. Chocolate muffin and a Red Bull. The day of the race, I did not have the Red Bull. I only slept 2 hours, but I had my chocolate muffin, and that is what kept me, that's what started my day. I tried oatmeal, and I'm going to try oatmeal again. Everybody swears by their own things. The morning of the race, you've got to go with what's been working for you on your long runs. Your long runs are also what you do to figure out what works for your body. Clothes. Do not change your clothes. Do not change to glasses if you've been running in a hat the week before. Do not change anything. Keep everything. Be comfortable. Be where you need to be. Speaking of clothes, if you want to wear these cute little shorts, your legs are going to rub together. You're going to need oil. Nothing but oil, baby oil. That's what you need, and you need to apply that liberally between your legs. Or you can wear these where your legs will not, I don't care how thin you are, your legs are going to rub together. So even though this only has one pocket, which drives me crazy, this will keep me from the friction and a rash. You will not be able to continue if you get a rash. It's just not going to work. So oil, if you really, really want to wear your cute little shorts, boys and girls, oil is totally fine. Okay, let's go to, we were talking about nutrition. Okay, so these are great. Okay, these are little chews. I love this. You've got, I've got like a little snack bar. Everything should be as small as possible. You want to have barely anything carrying. The Goos, the Cliffs, the Shots, whatever your favorite flavors are, have these. Now, the only thing with these are, somebody will tell you to have one an hour. Another person will say, just have one before you start and one in the middle. Or I just save mine for the, or I don't use these. You know what? Figure out what works for you. The only thing I will say about these is you have to consume water. You have to consume water with them, because otherwise you'll get stomach cramps. Yeah, make sure you consume at least half a glass of water as you're running with these. I mean, when I did my marathon, I think I went through 1.5 because that's all I needed. There's other things. Salt tablets. Salt tablets I'm going to try to work in because just the other day I ran 15 miles and at the end my hands, I couldn't bend my hands because of all the salt coming out of my body. If they make you crazy, don't take them. If you need them, take them. If you need more, take more. Your long runs are where you're going to figure out what you need to do. This is mosquito repellent. If you know you are going to be trail running, wear mosquito repellent. That brings us to sunscreen. You need to spray yourself like crazy. I don't care how tanned you are. I don't care how great you are at that sun and getting burned. You can see I got some burning from 4th of July. It's not fun. Tidbit as well. If you do have sunburn and you still need to exercise and run because maybe you went to the beach and wore a really tiny bikini because you've been losing weight because you've been running, wear a very light shirt and put your sports bra over. That's what I did the day after. It was great. Okay, this is a godsend. I love this stuff. This is Badger zinc oxide sunscreen cream. I look like a vampire when I put this on. I literally look like a vampire. I get the tangerine and vanilla because it just smells so good. Cover yourself, face, head, everything that you need. This is what you need to put on at the beginning of your races. Okay. Let's go to what you carry when you are running. I saw people that were carrying nothing, just their ID, and that's it. That depends on the race. If you're running a race with 20,000 people, there's probably going to be water, and there's probably going to be Gatorade, and there's probably going to be people handing you food. That's another thing. Make your choice about whether or not to take food from people on the side of the road. You can get sick. There are some bad people out there, and then there are some really kind people that just don't know that they happen to be carrying the swine flu. You can be in the emergency room the day after your marathon because you took an orange from somebody. Just be very careful. Maybe just candies, if somebody's handing you candies and things like that. Only accept that. The food that you take, there's probably going to be Gatorade, but I only like the orange and they only seem to serve the yellow one when I'm out running. So this is the other thing I love. Okay, a running belt. If you are running a very small, intimate race or you are trail running, you need a good running belt. I really do like the, what's it called? Amphipod? It's the little frog. I love this running belt. And I had to buy a new one because I bought this one and because I thought it would be tight enough and it wasn't. This is a size 2. And so I ended up getting this size, crap. I don't know what I got. I got size 1. I had to go down to size 1. What I love about this is that you can add what you need for each race. These are attachable and detachable. You can, click it off, take your drink, and you can put as many as you want on there. You can put only water on there. You can put only Gatorade on there. You can put your little fanny pack things to carry stuff if you want to. Whatever you want to do. I love this thing because you can customize it and make it. Don't get this because this is what somebody else has. Learn what works for you before you do your race, and then stick with it when you are doing your races. Okay, what goes into this? All right, let's talk about what goes into this. You want to have, nobody can carry this, so you want to get out and put it in little plastic bags. Okay. Your keys, because you need to go home. You need to have a place to put your keys. There is usually a place where you can, at each marathon, a place where you can store your stuff, like your flip-flops that you are really, your thongs, if you're listening to this and you're in Australia or England, you will want to take your sneakers off. And so you will want a pair of flip-flops. I don't mind if my flip-flops disappear. I mind if my ID and my credit cards disappear. So people have lost their phones, their wallets, because they've left their valuables at the drop-off point, major places, come back, it's left out in the rain, nobody can find it. If you don't want to lose it, don't put it in the drop-off thing. Just try to take it with you. Have friends meet you. Have somebody hold the important stuff. But what you're gonna want is your house keys. You're gonna want your ID. You're gonna want your medical cards. You're gonna want maybe a credit card. You're going to also potentially want to have 10 $1 bills in your running pack, because you might hit a place and you need to buy a bottle of water if you're out for your long runs, or you're out, you might see somebody and want to run into a store and get a banana. You're gonna want to have money on you. If you get injured, you want to give somebody a couple of dollars to, you know, take you back to your car. You need to have at least $10 in singles so that you can get things along the way, depending if you're a city, in the country, you're just out running, you're going to want those. You can overpack your pack, definitely, but it's like overpacking your suitcase when you go traveling, and then you realize you don't have a pair of shoes to go out dancing in, and you have to spend 2 or 3 hours looking for a pair of shoes to go dancing in, boys or girls. You're stuck. You are stuck. You have to go spend those 2 or 3 hours, where if you just pack this extra little bit, you'd be much happier. In a marathon, you cannot stop. Some places you can run in and get some band-aids if you've got blisters or something, but I say just carry whatever you think you might need. Medical, ID, band-aids, extra sunscreen. I like the ones that you can throw away, like that are disposable, okay? But if you can't, then you're, you know, go small. You can't fit this in a backpack. I can't fit this in my little pack. I can't run with this. So go small. It may take you longer to completely cover yourself, but at least you won't burn and have sunburn. And if you're going to be running multiple marathons over days or time, you're going to want this. That said, and I'm about to tell you about some great stuff that a friend of mine has. Mayron's Goods, sun stuff, SPF UV, paraben free, organic. This stuff is really, really good. Can cover more than this. It's a little bit shorter and it can fit in. It's a little fatter, but it's great stuff. The other thing that I love to take is go buy 1,000 of these. These are handy, refreshing wipes. So if you have to get everything off your body, you know, you have to put sunscreen on, your hands get sticky, you can't get your water bottles out, this will get you through. Like, you just need to clean your hands or your face, some refreshing wipes. Disposable, everything should just be disposable. You want some ibuprofen. You want to have this in case you start to have a headache or something. If you're starting to have aches and pains from discomfort, this will help you. But don't take this if you are in pain to mission through the race. That is not a good idea, because you want to be aware if you're doing more damage, okay? This is just if you, stuff that you know about your body is hurting, you need to do this, okay? junk stuff. This is another Mayron's Goods. You can go to mayronsgoods.com. Junk stuff. It is stuff for your junk, junk for your stuff, for relief down there. Basically, this is a barrier cream. What I love about Miss Melanie Mayron's products are that convenient size, okay? I was running my marathon, I was running my 20-mile training and did not have the proper splits thing, and I was in pain. And I just, and it got me through mile 16. It got me through the last 4 miles. It is a godsend. It is organic. It is also good when the oil runs out for between your legs, chafing, rashes. You just take a second, go to the bathroom, put this stuff on. It's great. Speaking of which, that's where we get to the bathrooms. Tissues. I don't care who you are. There are places where you can, you know, there's going to be 25,000 people that you're running with, porta potties. And if you're a slow runner, you're going to get there. They're not going to have any TP for you. You're out in the forest and you're doing a trail run. I don't want to use a leaf. Your body will move. Movement will happen. This is going to save you. Okay. Last but not least, and I forgot to grab something, there are these great towels. Wait, I'm going to press pause. This is a Mission Wet Towel, cooling activated. So you pour water on it, snap it, wrap it around your neck, and it will save you. It will totally save you and keep you cool. Put it up around your hair. A little boy gave me a bag of ice around mile 18 of my marathon, and I kind of just put the bag of ice in there and put it around my neck, and it got me through the last 6 miles. It was great. So this thing is great to get you through. Okay, which brings us to water. Hydration. You need to hydrate. You need to hydrate. You need to have a glass of water every hour, 4 days before you run. You need to constantly be hydrating. I lost 3.5 pounds just in water weight through my marathon when I was running. Hydration. There are some runs and you will be up training on hills in your city and you won't have access to water. If you need to have 6 of these strapped to your running belt, you need to do that. Hydration, I cannot speak more about. You need to hydrate. You need to hydrate so badly. It's insane. When you think I've drunk way too much water, keep on drinking. A glass a day. The other thing as well is there is a point where you can drink too much water. Don't drink 2-3 gallons a day because you are flushing out all the vitamins and minerals in your body that you were getting from the food you were eating. You need those to run, okay? So, and you're pushing all the salt out. That's another thing. Do not change your diet, whatever you do, but hydration. Hydration, hydration, hydration. It's the only thing I can say. Hydration. Okay, guys. I think that's it. I think that's all the little tidbits that I have so far. If there's others or somebody wants to add more to the bottom, great. In the comment sections, you guys can add your own little tidbits, tricks, things that you know, things that you've learned. But yet again, like I said at the beginning of this, you know your body, you know what you can and can't do. Listen to yourself before you listen to others, okay? I I think you can do this, okay? I think you can. I think I can. I think we got this. I hope this was helpful if you're running or planning a run. Let me know if you are. Please post about it. And hopefully you guys will follow my 52 and 52 over 52 starting August 26th. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I think I can.